The hospital corridor was quieter than usual that Tuesday evening. Sarah Mitchell, a nurse for 23 years, was finishing her shift when she noticed him, a man sitting against the tile wall near the emergency exit, his clothes torn and dirty, his dark hair damp with sweat. Most people hurried past without a second glance. Sarah was 56 years old and had seen enough of life to know that circumstances can change in a heartbeat. She'd raised 2 children on her own after her husband passed, working double shifts to keep their small home. Money was always tight, but her mother had taught her something precious: kindness costs nothing, yet it's worth everything. She walked over slowly and knelt beside him. "Sir, are you all right? Do you need help?" The man looked up, his brown eyes weary but gentle. He appeared to be in his early 30s, with stubble covering his jaw and dirt smudged across his olive skin. "I'm okay," he said quietly. "Just needed to sit for a moment." Sarah noticed his arms were scraped and bleeding. "Those cuts need cleaning. Please, let me help you. It won't take long." She helped him to his feet and guided him to a small treatment room. As she cleaned his wounds with careful hands, they talked softly. His name was Michael. He didn't say much about himself, only that he'd had a difficult few days. Sarah didn't press. She'd learned long ago that everyone carries their own burdens. Before he left, Sarah reached into her purse and pulled out $40, most of what she had until payday. "Take this," she said. "Get yourself something warm to eat and maybe a clean shirt." Michael hesitated. "I can't take your money." "Please," Sarah insisted with a warm smile. "Sometimes we all need a little help. I've been there myself." He took the money with trembling hands, his eyes glistening. "Thank you. You have no idea what this means." Sarah watched him walk away down the corridor, then returned to finish her paperwork. She thought about him on her drive home, hoping he'd be all right, saying a quiet prayer as she often did for the lost souls who crossed her path. 3 weeks passed. Sarah had mostly forgotten the encounter, her days filled with the usual rhythm of caring for patients, paying bills that never seemed to end, and video calls with her grown children. One Saturday afternoon, as she was tending to her small garden, her one luxury and joy, a sleek black car pulled up in front of her modest house. Sarah stood, brushing dirt from her knees, curious. A man stepped out, and her breath caught. It was Michael, but transformed. He wore an elegant gray suit, his hair neatly styled, his face clean-shaven. Behind him emerged a well-dressed older woman with kind eyes. "Sarah," Michael said, walking toward her with a hesitant smile. "Michael, is that really you?" He nodded. "I owe you an explanation. That night at the hospital, I was at my lowest point. My father had just passed away, leaving me his company, a business worth millions. But I was lost, overwhelmed, pushing everyone away. I'd been wandering the streets for days, trying to figure out who I was beyond the money and expectations." He paused, his voice thick with emotion. "You were the only person who saw me as human. Not as a burden, not as someone to avoid, just as someone who needed help. You gave me your last dollars when you had your own struggles." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "I only did what felt right. That's exactly why I'm here," Michael continued. "I spent these weeks thinking about that moment, about your kindness. I've met countless people in my life, but none with a heart like yours." The older woman stepped forward. "I'm Michael's mother, Rebecca. He's told me everything about you. Your compassion, your grace." Michael took a deep breath. "Sarah, I know this is unconventional, and we barely know each other. But I haven't stopped thinking about you. Not about paying you back. Money can't repay what you gave me. I'm here because I want to know you. To spend time with you, if you'll allow it. You reminded me what truly matters in this world." Sarah stood in her garden, surrounded by the roses she'd planted years ago, feeling something she hadn't felt in a very long time: hope. Not because of wealth or promises, but because she'd been seen, truly seen, for the person she'd always tried to be. "I'd like that," she said softly. "I'd like that very much." Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness plant seeds we never see growing. But they do grow, in ways we cannot imagine, bringing unexpected blooms into our lives when we need them most. Sarah had simply offered her hand to someone in need. What she received in return was something far more precious, a reminder that goodness always finds its way back home.